Don't blame me if I spend all of my life money on Nvidia in light of this news. As it happens, Nvidia is mortal. Despite last night's impressive quarter report, the company was unable to deliver its main product quickly enough to enable it to do what it has done so many times before: blow away the earnings and, yes, raise its projection to unthinkable heights. Because it didn't shine as many money managers had come to expect, Nvidia didn't define today's trade. The averages, however, didn't even appear to care. The Dow rose 244 points, the S&P remained essentially unchanged, and the Nasdaq fell only 23%. How would I react to all of this? I just have one thing to say: goodness gosh. The millstone has been destroyed by the results of this quarter, and the albatross of perfection is no longer there. Even though I adore Nvidia, I'm happy that we can now go back to a market with a number of significant stocks that reflect a variety of significant trends rather than a single stock that has drawn the attention of hordes of investors, many of whom are unaware of its functions, let alone its place in the technological food chain. I continue to believe that you should own Nvidia stock rather than trade it. After all, I've been warning you for days that the stock had risen far too high going into the quarter and that buy-side expectations were too high. As I previously stated, the company needed to raise a quarter and provide a huge beat in order to rise, which seemed extremely difficult, if not impossible. However, I never wavered in my conviction that the company had intrinsic value. I'm trying to emphasize that ultimately, Nvidia is neither a cult, a concept, or a miracle worker. This company creates incredibly fast processors that enable quick computations, which helps businesses solve problems more quickly and increase productivity. The Blackwell chip from Nvidia isn't capable of curing cancer. A man won't be placed on Mars by it. There is no doubt that it cannot lead to world peace. However, the market was essentially requesting that CEO Jensen Huang do all of these things and more, based on how this company was doing in recent weeks. Currently, it appears to be able to increase customer gross margins, which is significant but not revolutionary, especially because the company is the client and not you. You will not even notice it. I'm hoping that people who wagered on the stock, note that I said wagered rather than invested in the company, will finally move on now that this quarter is over. AMD is no longer Exactabox. Place 2, please. We return to a time when we attempt to value Nvidia similarly to other businesses. Given its rate of growth, we must assign a fair price-to-earnings multiple, or P/E multiple, to it. According to Wall Street experts, Nvidia can make $5 a share by 2026, which is, in my opinion, a fair amount of time to consider when assessing a large growth stock. Based on that monetary sum, we must determine its appropriate value. Nvidia should sell at a premium to the benchmark S&P 500 as it is expanding far more quickly than the typical company. Are you with me? At the moment, that sells for almost 24 times the amount from this year. There is a slight increase in the discount because we are utilizing Nvidia's 2026 projections. Let's assume that future earnings per share are $24*5. What do you get out of that? $120. It is only a few dollars higher than its current price. Now, that is trading similarly to the average stock. I have no trouble arguing that Nvidia ought to be valued higher than the typical stock. The S&P is a superior corporation that rises at a significantly quicker rate than the typical stock. Thus, we should give it twice the S&P's P/E multiple. That amounts to $240. Whoa, again. That seems excessive, but since it's not your typical company, let's divide the difference and conclude that it should trade at 36 times the 2026 projection. That gets us to $180, which is realistically more than $60 above where it's trading. After this quarter, I hope Nvidia is simply another company, possibly a dull one, that is valued on earnings rather than intangibles, which is why I'm going through this whole boredom exercise. It's a classic high-quality growth stock, and that's how we evaluate it. I just explained the trading process for all stocks, including Nvidia, right now. This stock valuation procedure is laborious, but at the end of the day, Nvidia is just a stock. It makes no difference how intelligent Jensen Huang is. It makes no difference if I name him Da Vinci. He is the chief executive officer of a publicly traded corporation, not an alchemist, magician, or artist. Although I'm happy that Nvidia introduced a whole new group of stock market enthusiasts, I regret that a large portion of them are more gamblers than investors. They were only admitted because, in just 18 months, the valuations increased from $500 billion to $3 trillion. They therefore urgently required that advancement stay, but based on the behavior, it seems like they're leaving. Soldiers for the summer. However, I believe that this position creates space for something amazing. I want to make it into lemonade, which we discussed and will discuss later in the episode. Let's make lemonade out of lemons. You see, we can now concentrate on all the amazing businesses that were overlooked in the Nvidia shuffle. How about AMD, for instance, which also produces chips, including those that are essentially in the same league, but not quite as helpful for artificial intelligence? AMD also competes with a crippled Intel by producing CPUs for servers and traditional computing. According to its 2026 profits projection, AMD stock is actually much less expensive than stocks, or the other S&P companies. By the way, AMD actually benefits from Nvidia's demise rather than suffering from it. For crying out loud, they are a rival. What about a business like Apple, which is set to release a new phone that will soon provide the consumer with the newest in artificial intelligence? Although the stock has historically been expensive, Apple has never had a consistent, sticky service revenue stream that generates a whole new level of steady profits. Additionally, Apple will use ChatGPT, which was developed at a cost of billions of dollars to Microsoft and OpenAI. However, because Apple has such a large, highly valued installed base, these guys are getting everything for nothing. Let's take a look at Amazon, which has a 29% stock drop. 29%, despite the fact that a number of significant stores, including Walmart, Target, and Best Buy, just this morning, released some fairly impressive results. As long as you give the customer good value, which is Amazon's middle name, she is obviously doing well. Additionally, they have the biggest edge on using AI to identify your purchasing habits and group your orders for same-day delivery, something that only Costco and Walmart can match in terms of price, but not delivery. Perhaps delivery and Walmart Plus, or a business such as Salesforce. What about this? Last night, Salesforce released a report. They understand how to develop intelligent bots that can respond to inquiries from bystanders using generative AI. Very crucial, since 90% of the questions that customer care representatives must answer are simple inquiries. Because bots are far less expensive than humans, Agentforce, the new AI program, will enable a significant expansion of gross margins. In 3 weeks, we'll find out more during the company's annual Dreamforce. Not a barn burner again, but that's the whole point of AI. It doesn't burn barns. It merely mimics us, which is rather useful if you're managing the company. The use cases were so strong that the stock ought to have been up today rather than down. I'm not sure what went wrong. It seemed like a mistake to me. Thus, I bid the Nvidia watch parties farewell. Let's return to a time when Jensen Huang was not viewed as an unearthly miracle worker, but rather as a smart engineer with a black leather jacket and a ton of incredible ideas. Nvidia is not humanity's best chance for the future. It is a business that excels at what it does. It is spearheading the AI revolution, which helps organizations accomplish tasks more quickly and affordably than previously believed. However, it does not cure cancer or even the common cold. In summary, Nvidia is a great computer firm run by a CEO who is among the best at what he does. It is neither a religion nor Superman. But keep in mind that even with Nvidia, it's all business and not personal. In the past, Nvidia was the engine powering Tesla's innovative technology. Until the business eventually created its own internal systems, these GPUs powered Tesla vehicles. These original Nvidia cards are now highly sought-after collectibles that sell for hefty prices on the illicit market. For instance, some rare models have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and one specific model is presently going for $199,000. This is your opportunity. Get yours by clicking the link below, but hurry, stock is